Hey everyone, it's Chris back again, and I figured I'd give you guys a new video since I haven't done one in a while, and this is just going to be a short one. It's just showing off my overseas game collection, and this consists of games from Japan, China, and Europe. So let's switch over and get this started. Enjoy. Alright, so here we go. I guess I'm going to start from newest games to oldest. So, like the PS3 before it, the PS4 is also region free. So that makes it easy to import games. The main reason I import them is when it's a game that releases digital only in the US. And I have no other choice but to buy it as an import. So here's the first game. I got this one recently, but that is Bloodborne, the Old Hunters edition, and I believe this is Asia region import. Not too sure, I think Chinese maybe, but yeah, that's the only way to get the expansion on a disc with the original game. The only weirdness about this is that the X and the circle buttons, their functions are reversed, and this is typical in Asia region versions of PlayStation games. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, but overall it works just fine, and it's nice to have that all on a single disc. So next up, here's another game that was digital only in the US. That is Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, and this has tons of extras. Lets you play as Virgil. I believe Lady and Trish weren't in the original either, but yeah, it's 1080p 60, and like Bloodborne, the X and circle functions are reversed, so it takes a little bit of getting used to, but not too bad. So yeah, this is very nice to have physical copy of, once again. Okay, next up, we're going to do PlayStation 3. So first up, I will show this big one. That is the Biohazard HD Remaster. I forget if this was called the Collector's Pack or what, but when this came out, everyone had thought that this was the only way to get Resident Evil 1 Remaster on a physical disc. Of course, that's not the case anymore because they released both Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil 0 on PS4 on a disc in the US. But still, this is a really nice collector's package to have. I believe it has a art book, oh yes, it has the map of the mansion, which is really cool. So yeah, still a cool collector's piece and import only. But yeah, you can get this by buying the PS4 version now. Okay, next up, here's another Capcom game. We're seeing a trend here. But that is Okami HD, and this is also digital only on PS3. It has PlayStation Move support, obviously HD graphics. So, yep, this is the only way to get a physical copy. That's why I ordered it. And by the way, if you want to see an unboxing of this, you can look at my other video on this channel, which I will link right now. And you can check that out to see the contents. Okay, next up, another PS3 game. And this one I got early in its life cycle. That is Siren New Translation. This is called Blood Curse in the US. And there's a lot of differences here, mainly due to censorship. For one, obviously this is the only way to get a physical copy in the US, is importing either the, I believe this is Asia region, and then there's a European version that's also in English. And yeah, the US digital version is censored heavily in my opinion. A lot of the gore is cut down. Some of the cutscenes are like cropped or kind of just parts of them cut out. So yeah, I was wanting this anyways to have a physical copy because I love the Forbidden Siren series. So yeah, that's cool. I hope they make another game. Okay, Next up, some handheld games. And this one is for PlayStation Vita, and that is Final Fantasy X-2 HD Remaster. Now this was digital only in the US once again. Obviously you can get it physical on PS3 or PS4, but on PlayStation Vita, this was only available as a download that came with the physical copy of Final Fantasy X. So I went ahead and imported just the physical version of X-2, and I bought the local NTSC version for 10. So yeah, it's cool. We all know the PlayStation Vita has very limited memory card space, and well, depending on the card you get, and the cards are very expensive because they're proprietary. So I like to buy physical whenever possible. So that's why I bought that one. Okay. So next up, some more handheld games. And I guess we'll do this one. So this I got during my trip to Eugene, Oregon, at a mom and pop retro store. And that is the PSP version of Breath of Fire 3, which was originally a PS1 RPG by Capcom, of course. And this is the PSP Essentials version, which is, I think, Europeans' greatest hits line for PSP back then. But yeah, this is not available in the US. I want to say physical it's not available. I feel like it finally went to the PlayStation Store, though, recently. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the only way to get a physical copy in English, is importing the European one. Which brings me to this game as well, which I've also pointed out before. Put that over there. And that is Tales of Eternia for PSP, which is actually Tales of Destiny 2 in the US, which is the improper title. It's supposed to be Eternia. And yeah, this is the only way to get it on PSP in English, I believe. Actually, I want to say this did eventually come out in the US PSN marketplace, but once again, only way to get a physical copy. And luckily, this is actually the version that has the update on the disc. When this released, there was a glitch, I believe, with one of the bosses that didn't let you proceed in the game. I don't remember the specifics, but I know it was game breaking. So when you boot this up, I believe you can look at the PSP firmware update that's included on the disc, and that will tell you if you have the updated version or not. I don't remember offhand which version you have to look for. If I find out or remember, I'll put it up on the screen as an annotation right now. But yeah, I was lucky enough. I bought this randomly in the wild in Oregon again, and it turned out to be the one with the updated disc with that game-breaking glitch fix. So I'm really happy I was able to find that. I love the Tales of series. Okay, so there's the first round of my imports, and now I have some older generation ones, so let's start revealing those. So, let's see, first one I will do, I guess I'll try to do these in alphabetical order. Okay, I think this first, yeah. So first we got Deep Fear. This is the Japanese import on Sega Saturn. This was going to come out in the US, but then I think the Saturn died before they did that, and yeah. So this actually has all English voice acting, and a few of when you go through doors, it'll say the location in English, but everything else, like the item descriptions and the storyline files that you find in the levels, are in Japanese. But it's pretty playable if you have a guide that tells you the item descriptions and the clues and the levels to help you figure out the puzzles. But yeah, the story's completely cheesy and B-movie. It's worse than Resident Evil 1 in my opinion, voice acting wise. But it's highly entertaining and it's totally playable in English. So, yeah. Alright, next up we got, I think this is the next one. And that's Gradius Deluxe Pack Plus. Or wait, no. Is this the Salamander one? Oh yeah, I think, yeah, this is the Salamander Deluxe Pack. Sorry, I get those mixed up. But this is basically the two Salamander games, the arcade version, Salamander 1 and 2, and the American version, which is called Life Force. So yeah, Salamander 2 is actually really nice. It has 32-bit like graphics, so really nice sprites and everything, and high-speed action. But yeah, they're related to the Gradius series, so that's really fun shoot 'em up series. Okay, next up we have this one. Oh, actually I forgot this one if I was going in alphabetical order. But that is Christmas Nights into Dreams. And this is the Japanese version, once again. This is actually available in North America, or was I should say, but that version comes in just like a cardboard sleeve, CD sleeve. And obviously the intro for it's in English, but that's not really a big deal in my opinion. I love this packaging way more than the US version. Yeah, but it plays totally the same. It basically gives you an extra, you know, Christmas themed course. I don't know if it's actually different from the normal courses in their layout, but thematically it's, you know, Christmas themed. So yeah, this is way cheaper than the US version as well, which sweetens the deal. So yeah. And then next up we have this game here. I guess I'll do. Yes. This is the Japanese import of Dungeons and Dragons collection. This has Tower of Doom and Shadow over Mystara. And yeah, at the time this was the only way to have a home version of these Capcom beat 'em up games from the arcade. But now it's on Xbox Live Arcade and PSN, PS3's PSN, and Steam, I believe. So there's ways to play this in English and on US consoles, but this is still the only... well, actually, no. There's also a PS3 physical version in Japan, and both are in Japanese. The games are still pretty fun, even when you play them in Japanese, but obviously, if you want the full experience, I'd recommend the Xbox Live Arcade, PSN, or Steam version. But let's just open it up here, because it came in this kind of collector's edition sort of box, I guess, even though it's not really. And then there's a jewel case inside, which is the exact same. And you can see it's actually a 2-disc game. So we got, this is the Tower of Doom disc, which is the first game, instruction manual, which pretty cool looking instruction manual. I miss the days of these full color manuals. So I'll just flip through that really quick. Oh, nice, they got the character descriptions and everything. All in Japanese, obviously, but... And then on the other side is disc 2, which is Shadow over Mystara. So yeah, it's not the best port. There's long load times, but yeah, it's the only physical copy other than the PS3 version now. Okay, so... Oh yeah, and why is this box so big? Well, I'll show you. It actually comes with this 4 megabyte RAM expansion cart, and I can't use this with my American Saturn, I'm pretty sure, because I need this thing in order to even play the game, and that is Action Replay, a 4 meg plus memory card thing. And this acts as this memory card, but it also, you know, is a cheat device, game save storage, and import game, region free, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, That's why this box is so big. It's in case any Japanese players wanted to buy the game and they didn't have the expansion yet. Kind of like when N64 games included the expansion pack inside, like Donkey Kong 64. So, okay, next up, let's see. Guess we'll do this one. This one I mentioned earlier. Gradius Deluxe Pack. So, Sega Saturn got pretty much all the original Gradius and Salamander games in these collections, and these are the arcade perfect versions. I believe this is also on PS1, but the PS1 version has a lot of slowdown, and I believe Gradius 2. So yeah, this is the more desired version, and obviously since it's just a shoot 'em up game, it's just fine to play the Japanese versions. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same. It even has English. So yeah, that's a very cool way to have the arcade version of Gradius 1 and 2 on a physical copy, and arcade perfect, if I didn't mention that 20 times already. Okay, so next up, this game, which is Magic Knight Ray Earth, the Japanese version. And this is a Zelda-style RPG based on an anime, I believe. And it's 3 girls with magical powers, you know, roaming a isometric view world like Zelda and solving puzzles and battling enemies. And I do actually have the US version of the game, which I'll show you here. So this is the US version. But I had actually won this Japanese version in a contest on a forum. I won't say what forum because it's a fucking garbage forum. But yes, I won a contest by answering really obscure questions about the Sega Saturn. I knew some of them, but I had to research a bunch of the other questions. But, you know, I got all the questions right and no one else did. So I won my choice of several games, and this was one of them. So, you can see the package is kind of cool. It has a slip case, and you know, the manual is kind of interesting. And actually, this used to be a sticker set, and let me show you the actual sticker. So I used the sticker on my North American save game cart for the Saturn. And you can see that's what was on it. Whoever I won the contest from must have used one of the stickers already, because this was the only one. So that's cool. And then, of course, the game itself, which is kind of difficult to play without English support, to be honest, but it's still pretty fun to play. And the Japanese version actually has more voice acting than the US version. I guess they just didn't want to localize it as accurately, so probably take more work than Sega was willing to do, because Sega hated the US back then. So, yep, that's that. Okay, so next up, these last two are also Sega Saturn. So this one I also won in the before mentioned contest. This was one of my picks. Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story. I think that's volume 3 or just 3. Yeah, so this is the third one. And yeah, it's kind of hard to understand the story because it's in Japanese, but the gameplay is fun, I must say. Like, it's fast-paced robot combat, like I don't know, maybe Armored Core or Zone of the Enders, I want to say. But yeah, here's the packaging. It's actually like, here's the spine card for it as well. But the packaging is like a cardboard case, which I haven't seen too much. If anyone knows, how many Saturn games actually have these cardboard cases? But it has the manual built right into the case, which must be hell for some collectors to find this in good condition, but this copy is very good condition. And it's a fun game, even in Japanese, if you like fast-paced robot action. And then these spine cards would go on the thing like this when they were still sealed. I'm not really sure what the purpose of that is, why they had that on there, but I guess because they could put whatever promo stuff that says. If anyone knows what that says on the spine there, let me know. But, yeah, cool game. So, one more. And this is kind of a doozy. This one cost me a lot. I believe I paid $180 to $200 for this, which was probably a mistake. Radiant Silver Gun for Sega Saturn. Now this is available on Xbox 360 as a digital download. So, in my opinion, this Saturn version still has value for me because I like all my games physical. And there is a lot of voice acting during the story mode, but you can get the general gist of the story just by reading a translation. The gameplay is really what counts, and it's a great treasure shoot-'em-up title. So lots of shit on screen, great graphics, great art design, awesome music. The person who did the music for this also did Final Fantasy Tactics, Valkyrie Profile, all those great RPGs. I forget the guy's name right now, but he's great. So yeah, that is all of my import games. I'm not huge on import games. I realize this seems like a lot, but there's people that collect nothing but import games. They can read Japanese and everything. I mostly target the stuff, like I said, that is in English, but this is the only way to get a physical copy. Most of my Saturn stuff was just games that I really wanted to play, and there was no other way to get a perfect version of them at the time. So, yeah. Or, you know, they're in Japanese, but they're not too hard to get through. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As usual, comment, like if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate that, as always. Thank you for the support. Continue watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.